meeting to order. Stand for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Brew?
Here.
Mr. Babalani?
Here.
Dr. Hayes?
Here.
Mr. Meneghini?
Here. Approval of the minutes for the regular meeting of December 21st, 2015. Any additions or corrections? That would need a motion to approve.
I make the motion we approve the regular meeting notes from December 21st, 2015.
Support.
Roll call.
Mr. Babalani?
Yes.
Dr. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Meneghini?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Approval of manifest 2016-1 for $166,956.35. Any questions, Mrs. Brew? Any question, Mrs. Brew?
I just have a question for Joe. Joe, did you find out last time on that question that I asked you, why more was coming out of the electric fund? Was that on the safety director?
Yeah, it was on the actual position is a contracted position, and it's to meet our OSHA compliance for all our departments. And yeah, I did have a discussion with Mary and Ray both about it. I was mistaken when I said that I thought it was per head. When I looked at it, I stopped myself from completing it because I realized that really wasn't it. It looks like when I budget that in order to balance it out, the electric utility, I budgeted more money in the electric utility than I had in the other departments. I didn't budget it all equally.
Okay.
So now, when they pay the bills, they take those equal shares and divide it up and pay it that way.
Okay.
So the electric utility carries a majority of the balance of that to pay for that compliance.
Is that just because there's more money in that fund?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why.
Mr. Babalani?
Yeah, I got a few. I'd like to make special note that $53,735.61 is for taxes that gets turned over to the county and a couple different organizations, the school. I got one here, Joe, as far as on the, I think it's the second page, there's 250894 for cold patch. Is that the last bill we have from this fall?
Yes, this is the last one from this fall for cold patch.
What is the, right underneath that it says winter maintenance, it's the same amount. Is that just split 3 ways and then the local streets? Is that how that's handled?
Yes, it is.
Okay. On the first page, Joe, the GoTech project with the server upgrade, I read Ray's memo in the executive session. We're almost done with that project. It was $3,600 for the server upgrade. Maybe Chris can help if.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with how far along we are into that.
The billing is
I
almost
know,
done.
yeah,
Billing.
The billing is almost done.
Okay.
There's some final work that has to be done.
Okay, I read what you had in there,
Yeah.
but okay. That's all I have.
Lee?
More of a comment than anything. I see that our fuel heating expense for City Hall is $428, which is down tremendously from previous years. And I know we've had a very mild month, but also I would like to think included in there is the money that we have spent to revamp our heating and cooling system. I'm sure that's a major part that's to why that's down also. Plus, I have a question for Mary. Did you check into the variable rate for the DTE gas that I talked to you about earlier last week?
I sent an email off to Just Energy, which is the company that we have, and I got an email back that they were gonna look into it, because our contract with them expired in June of 2015. So they're doing some review on their end, because that rate continued on after June, and if you read the contract, it says that it should adjust down to the variable rate that they're using at that time. So I'm thinking, based on what the numbers you had, that we're probably gonna see a credit coming.
Oh, okay, that's all I have.
I have no questions. Need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve manifest 2016-01 in the amount of $166,956.35.
Support.
Dr. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes,
Mr. Babalani?
Yes.
Next would be addresses from the audience. If anybody in the audience like to comment on any agenda item or the minutes of the manifest, you do so now. Otherwise, you can make a comment at the end of the meeting on any subject. Number 6. Mr. Anderson?
Well, as we heard from Mr. Ball at the last meeting, he made a statement that he was officially resigning. As part of the charter, it is council's responsibility to officially accept his resignation, and he provided a letter for us for this meeting.
Any discussion, or is there a motion?
I make a motion, we approve resolution 2016-01 for Mr. George Ball's resignation,
support.
or recognition, excuse me.
Why don't we get to do the resignation first?
Oh, okay,
So it would be the...
the
accept his-
resignation.
Accept his resignation.
Okay.
And you support that then?
Yes,
Roll call?
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
yes,
Mr. Babalani?
Yes.
Dr. Hayes?
Yes. Next, agenda item number 7, resolution 2016-1 in recognition of George Ball.
Would you care to read the entire thing, Ray or Mayor? Read the resolution?
Sure, I can read this. Resolution 2016-01. It's whereas George Ball has served the residents of the city of Norway as an elected official holding the office of council member from November 1985 to 1987, November 1989 to 91, November 2001 to 2011, and November 2013 to 2015. During this time, he also served as mayor from November 2003 to 2011. And whereas Mr. Ball's zeal for elected service and knowledge of the political process was instrumental as the city competed for state and federal grant dollars, and whereas the city council during Mr. Ball's tenure advanced numerous capital initiatives, including municipal facilities expansion, comprehensive street improvements, and major utility upgrades and improvements, including substantial improvements to the Sturgeon Falls hydroelectric facility and electric distribution system. And whereas Mr. Ball gave freely and generously of his abilities and knowledge by serving on various City of Norway boards and committees, including but not limited to the Electric Utility Board, Planning Commission, Parks and Recreation Committee, and the North Alert Ambulance Authority. And now therefore be resolved, the City Council of the City of Norway wishes to extend its sincere thanks and appreciation to his dedication to the city, community, and the operations of the City of Norway. Let it be further resolved that this resolution be spread across the minutes of the City Council for the City of Norway, recognizing his accomplishments adopted this 4th day of January 2016.
Someone like to make a motion to approve the resolution?
Support.
I guess roll call.
Mrs.
I
Brew?
guess I made it.
Oh, you made it.
yes,
Mr. Babalani?
Yes.
Dr. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Next agenda item is our second 7, city council appointment. We've had lots of applicants. Do you need to make any introductory remarks or list the people?
No, I just will say that under the city's charter, section 5.4, the section simply states that council is required to fill the vacancy within 30 days. That is the only hard and fast requirement. So it has been the policy and procedure of the council to accept applications during terms of vacancy and proceed in that direction.
so do we have 30 days from,
You have 30 days from the time you officially accept his resignation, which is technically tonight.
okay.
I guess I'd like to say that I think we got a pretty good turnout, and we got a lot of good candidates. And I think I would like to see a little time to, being if we do have Grant 30 days from today. I know Doc's going to be gone. We can do this, you know, we have plenty of time. I'd like to have a chance to talk to some of the candidates and go over their paperwork that they turned in. So I guess with that being said, I'd like to make a motion that we table it and do it within the 30-day limit to satisfy the charter.
I'd like to either make a passage tonight or wait until the first meeting in February. So is your motion to postpone until the,
Well, either that or if we have to have a special meeting, you know, once you get back or whatever.
Well, February 1st is our next meeting. That's within 30 days as of tonight, so
Right.
we could push it back to the February 1st, make our decision.
if
on it.
that's what the council
I'd
wants?
just soon get it done tonight, but I'm only one.
Which, your thoughts?
I'd like to look at all the applications.
You gonna second the motion?
Yes, second.
Roll call?
Mr. Babalani?
Yes.
Dr. Hayes?
No?
Mr. Menegini?
No,
Mrs. Brew?
Yes,
Would Mr. McGee?
now what?
Now what? Two yeses, two no.
Vote motion fixed. On a 2-2 vote, motion
Right.
fixed. At this point, on that particular motion.
Someone else like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion, we appoint former council member Jeremy Oja.
Their support? I'll support that. Roll call?
Dr. Hayes?
Yes?
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
no,
Babalani?
No.
I'll make a motion then that we postpone the vote until February 1st. Which is the same motion that you had made, so do you support that?
So what do we do with the candidate that we didn't take? I mean, do we still keep him in the running? being
Sure.
it's-
Why not?
It didn't pass?
Well, additional candidates can put in during that 30-day period. I mean, until it's filled, we can always accept applications.
Well, I think that, I don't think we should accept any more applications. The deadline had already passed. We had it set that the deadline was out there to accept the application, so I don't think we should accept any more applications.
It's gonna be hard enough making the decision anyway.
Yeah, we got more than enough
that's up to
qualified
you guys.
candidates.
yeah, and the deadline was already in the
The
paper.
deadline was in the paper.
Well, it didn't make the paper, did it?
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
Did it make the
Daily
Daily
News.
News? Okay.
yeah, it was in there twice.
Okay.
I didn't make the current.
Did they have a current?
The
No.
current, I didn't make the current.
Oh, you didn't make the current. No, that's what we thought.
I made a motion that, no seconds, that someone else can make a motion then. If you wanna put an end to the applicants and,
I'd like to make a motion, we put an end to the applicants and leave it open in case we have to have a special meeting for some reason before the end of before Doc, before the 1st of February, once Doc is back, just to leave our options open.
well, again, I'd like to see us make a decision tonight or wait until I get back.
What's in there? I said that if, just in case we have to have a special meeting once you're here.
Yeah, I'm not getting back until the night of the 31st.
Okay, I guess that's what we'll have to do. That's, as long as everybody's here for that last meeting. You know, if somebody's, what are we gonna do if somebody calls in sick or doesn't show up? I just wanna make sure we have a full council.
Right.
You know, if, you know, we're gonna wait, we're obviously gonna wait for the mayor.
So I'm assuming that you're making a motion again to postpone this until the 1st, and that we eliminate any further applicants, only use the applicants that we have at this time.
Yes.
Is there support for that?
Support.
Roll call.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes?
Mrs. Brew?
Yes?
Mr. Babalani?
Yes.
Dr. Hayes?
Yes.
Can I make a comment, Doc?
Sure.
The other 4 applicants, I just got this about 20 minutes ago. I know all of them, but at their convenience, give me a call or stop by and see me. I'd just like to talk to you, that's all.
Is there any other agenda items tonight? I guess we're open for council comments. Mr. Mangini?
Yeah, I noticed in Ray's executive memorandum there that we received 2 grants for trees, which should make you happy, Doc. One from ATC, American Transmission Company, for $3,500, and another one of $4,000 through the DNR, some special fund. So that's $7,500 that we can plant a lot of trees around town, and basically that's another 70 trees. I'm sure we can find room at Strawberry Lake to get some more down there, plus there's a lot of boulevards in town that could use them. It's very nice to have that. That's all I have to say.
Well, I guess I got a couple things. I'd like to thank Craig Ebling and the Ebling Grocery Store, everybody that's affiliated with it, for what they did for the parking area down on the end of Main Street. They did shave some off the alley. They resurfaced the alley at their expense. I would like to see it brought up at the DDA that if they have the funds available, that something is brought into the picture for them cost-wise, because they did do some work in the alley, and they provided a lot of parking spots down on that end of town. I know, you know, they did it for a reason with their business, but parades and special events and stuff, I think it's gonna be a help. So I would like to see something talked about at the DDA. I would like to see, being we're taking over an employee for the Golf Commission, percentage with the, correct me if I'm wrong, Ray, percentage with the Parks and Recs and the DPW. I would like to see us open back up and look at the trash situation in Norway Township, like I talked about last time I was on the council. I think it would be a good money maker for the trash department and the truck, and just to take the actual, not the real rural routes. I know me and Ray had some extensive conversations on that. I'd like to see that brought back to the table. Maybe Mary or whoever's involved to get some information on that, so we can see what it looks like. That's all I have.
Mrs. Brew, any comments?
Yeah, I was wondering, did we get the results from the engineers for the dam yet?
No, we have not. For repairing the runners, no. I spoke to them today, and there was a metallurgist report coming out of Green Bay, Wisconsin, that we received, and I passed it along to them so they could put that into their study, but they found it inadequate. It wasn't up to the standard of a report that they were accustomed to. So we took some other samples of the runners and sent it to them so they could send it their own metallurgist out by Rochester, New York somewhere, so they could get a comprehensive evaluation of the metal. So there is a holdup because of that. I was looking at unit number 3, the runner today. All the new tips on that runner are already welded in place. There's still about another week of welding on that. The schedule is still solid for February the 15th, receiving that. So we should have that unit back in play for spring runoff.
Any other troubles down there or
Well, just one I have to look into. I don't want to elaborate on it right now because I don't know enough about it. I went down and listened to some stuff this morning, and I have to check into some things. But overall, it's good right now.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other comments or questions? I guess I was wondering why Mr. Pickard decided that this time would be the time where he was going to retire or resign. If you could make any comments in public about that,
Oh,
or,
I really prefer not to.
okay. Mary, any comments? Trish? Do you have any other comments about the hydro or any other issues?
No, the hydro is working fine except for this one issue I have, like I spoke of, but I don't really want to elaborate on it because I don't know yet. And I won't know until I can take the water off the unit to take a look at the runner. But I do have to take a look at that before I can tell you any more about it. Water's good at the hydro. We've producing over 3 megawatts of energy, producing almost 100% of our needs, and have been all this winter. Of course, everybody knows it's been a wet winter, so it's going well. The Tanner Gate project has wrapped up. I don't think I talked about that in a while. All the construction is done on that 24-foot and 16-foot Tanner Gate. They've been recoated, and the hot water heater and the hot heated seals that take the ice off of it are operating. So that turned out really well. Now the only thing left on that is a 90-day report that we have to give to FERC. At the end of any major construction, you have 90 days to fill out a report back to FERC to talk about what you exactly did and how it turned out so they can look at it and put it in their file. So.
I forgot to ask anybody in the audience if they had any comments. If so, come to the podium, give your name and address, and you're limited to 5 minutes.
Marcia Golswa, 209 Brown Street, Norway. My church is interested in setting up a concession stand for the Norway 125 Centennial. We have contacted some of the people on the Centennial Committee, but we haven't gotten a response. And we put our name in right when you announced it with them. And when we talk to somebody, it's like, well, so-and-so's in charge of that, or so-and-so's in charge of that, and I think you are, and well, I'm almost positive. But we need some kind of an answer. So if we can get any kind of a response back, whether it's yes or no, you send an email, they are not responding to anybody. Nobody I know, that has signed up has gotten a definite response, yes or no. So we kind of are.
Is there anybody on the committee here?
I'm not an official member of the committee, but I've made most of the meetings, Marcia. Next meeting is 6 o'clock Wednesday.
Right.
Show up there and you will get
Well,
your
It
answers.
was asked today of Joe Tinty, he said, well, we're not talking about that at the meeting, so, do we bring it up or not? I guess we just
As
need
far
an
as I know, all organizations in Norway are getting first shot,
Okay,
whether it's a
Also,
church
I
or
need
whatever.
an answer
They're
one
getting
way or
the
another.
first chance, and I know they're looking into the tent situation and all this, and power and
I
everything.
guess the way I look at it, at least respond.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Somebody's been waiting for 4
But,
months, give some kind of an answer.
I would show up at the
Even
meeting.
if, well, we're still not sure, we're waiting on this or that. Just as an acknowledgement that we've received your request. That would really be
Yeah, that
nice,
would be
but-
nice.
So, that's what I have. Thank you.
Anybody else in the audience like to make a comment?
Nancy Lockner, 426 Sangamon Street, Norway. I just want to say I did put my application in for the vacant seat on the council. I want to also say to you, I was very disappointed that Wednesday night when I saw the paper and saw that you were taking petitions or applications, there was no way to get one until this morning. City Hall was closed Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So they weren't available online. You couldn't go in and access it. kind of said to people you didn't want anyone applying. Just wanted to say that. Thanks.
I did not receive Nancy's application. I didn't know.
It was, tonight,
It's
it
hand
was
delivered.
in the
It's in there.
information tonight.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that in the new one. I just looked at the one that you sent.
Yeah, no, I mean, Mark had them, he was able to get them and bring them in for the meeting,
Okay.
so.
But Nancy's wasn't in that one. I didn't see that. We had this one.
I put out 2.
I see, I do have it now.
Okay.
But it wasn't in our other packet, but, because she didn't, put it in until today.
Okay.
Right, yeah, that first one went out on Wednesday,
Okay.
yeah.
I
As
just
long
didn't
as
see.
everybody else saw it. Does everybody else have it?
Yep.
And I have it, Trish. I'm sorry. I just didn't realize you had, I thought it was just the regular agenda. I didn't know there was anything different in it.
Anybody else in the audience that'd like to make a comment at this time? Mr. Carlson, any comments?
No, well, actually, I wanted to, along with Nancy's comments, I think just for maybe for clarity's sake and referencing the cutoff of the ones that have been received, you guys have wide berth to kind of work through this as you see fit as a council. If you said, you want to extend out the deadline for application, Nancy brings up a good point with the holidays and stuff that was in that situation, a little bit of a, maybe didn't get the word out fast enough. The council does have that wide berth to be able to do that if it wishes. I've talked with some of the local attorneys around as well, other city attorneys, and this has happened before where we have issues with trying to fill that vacancy when we want. And again, the council has wide latitude to be able to work through these issues with the deadlines and with, going through in the manner in which they think is best appropriate to serve and to work with the taxpayers and the people that live in the community. So other than that, no, I hope that we can work through this in a productive manner. This doesn't happen very often, but I'm confident that with the folks on the council and the various backgrounds and insight, that we can work through this here in the next couple of weeks and bring it to an appointment hopefully on February 1st. That's all, thanks.
Thanks, Grant.
Thanks.
Mr. Anderson, any comments?
I have no comments.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Support.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes?
Mr. Babalani?
Yes.
Dr. Hayes?
Yes. That's our meeting.
It's really going to approximate